Good morning, good morning, good morning, my friends. Happy Monday, October 7th. It's your boy, Patrick Allman, coming at you with just a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of wisdom, and hopefully I can gain some from you also. If you are watching, let me know where you're watching from inside the comments down there at the bottom of the live stream, specifically YouTube. That's where I really encourage people to watch and join because the engagement's just a little bit better there, a little bit better commenting system, a platform that we're trying to grow. So if you're watching and you're just watching various places like Instagram or Twitch or one of the many Facebook places where we're broadcasting, hop on over to YouTube and join us there. Won't you? Won't you? Hey, it's Monday, October 7th. It's Patrick Allman with you from Stop Doing Nothing Media. Welcome to the live show. Hey, right now we're doing this 3 times a week. Might eventually cut back a little bit, but right now we're rocking hard with 3 times a week. I run a digital marketing agency here in Oklahoma City. Been doing that since, I don't know how many decades. And we are going live 3 times a week now to show you how to produce better content, to show you how great the CRM that we work with is, to basically help you run your life and run your business in a better way. So we cover a wide variety of topics. On the business side, we are a certified high-level CRM agency, which means we've gone through all the training, we've passed the test to kind of show that we're high-level badasses. And it's a system that really helps your business get organized. If you have no lead generation system, if you have no ad management system, if you have no social media scheduling system, then you should come talk to us sometime because we can get you hooked up, especially with all this AI stuff that's coming out. Every week, I'm getting more and more training on AI, and I'm incorporating it more and more in my business to generate content, to have conversations for me, to help me close deals, to help me get appointments on the calendar. We are really seeing some cool stuff out there in AI world. So if you ever want to know about that and how it can improve your business, I mean, even when it comes to the basics like setting appointments, like I did a demo a couple of weeks ago, I think on this very show where I show how you can put one of our AI bots on your website and it sits there and just generates appointments and fills up your calendar. So if you're the kind of person who, if you don't answer the phone, you're not making money, or if you're considering, expanding your marketing and your willingness to like take in more leads, but you don't want to staff up, then that's when you want to talk to us about AI and how it can help you book more appointments without having more payroll and more overhead on your business. Okay. This is kind of a cool day, Monday, October 7th. This, I believe, is my Air Force Day. The day that so October 7th, 1986, I believe was the day I actually joined the Air Force. Before that, I was an active reserve. And then October 7th was my go live date. So either on October 7th or October 8th, one of those two is when I got shipped off to Lackland Air Force Base, Texas, got the head shaved. See this head you shave now? This used to have a hair on it. Like I had an afro. I haven't had an afro since the 80s just because I've always kept things nice and trim and lean. But yeah, on October 7th, 1986, I went to Lackland Air Force Base and got all this shaved off down to it wasn't this short. I guess that's kind of the funny part. Is they just buzz you in the military, right? They don't take a blade to you. And this morning I took a blade to everything. So it wasn't even this short. But yeah, I got issued my military greens and started getting yelled at. Had to shave off all my facial hair. Couldn't have a mustache or anything. It was good times. The military was really good for me. Like I said, we run a digital marketing agency here, and if you are on the East Coast, then hey, happy 10 o'clock. Your day's already going fast and furious. If you are on the West Coast of the USA, you are just getting up, and you're probably watching me on your iPad at your breakfast table. It's only 7 o'clock, I believe, in the West right now. Let me see what was on my mind today before we get in the business side of it. Ignorance. This weekend, I was thinking a lot about ignorance, and when people are ignorant, I like your thoughts on this. I believe when people are ignorant, they they are fearful of things. Okay, and so to me, ignorance is one of the first problems we have to solve in this world. When we solve ignorance about things like politics or about people or the reality of people, or we solve ignorance about science, or we solve the issue of people voluntarily being ignorant or voluntarily choosing non-factual information. If we solve that problem, then it's amazing how much all of our other problems can get solved. So, we live in a world that, kind of thrives and, lives off of headlines. And we see our friends share headlines on social media all the time. And those headlines oftentimes are false. They're 100% false, but people reshare them without researching them. They don't have the time. It's easy to reshare something on Facebook because it feels true and it feeds into your political or your social or your religious biases. But the reality is oftentimes the stuff you're seeing shared on social media just isn't true, but it's just too much work to research it. I've tried to take the mindset in the past couple of decades to make sure that I research anything before I share it. If it triggers me emotionally, if it's something that makes me angry or even makes me overly happy, I'm like, wait a second. I feel my emotions tingling. I feel my spidey sense tingling. Maybe this isn't quite true. And so I'll go research it and figure out that somebody grabbed a salacious headline sometimes that isn't even remotely true. I saw one today about a movie. This is a minor one, but I saw one today about a movie that's the headline was, "Hey, what day is this movie going to be released?" I think it was what movie was it? Oh, it was The Devil Wears Prada. I saw a headline that said, "Hey, here's the release date of The Devil Wears Prada 2." And I'm like, that's really weird. I've only seen it on one Facebook post. I haven't seen it announced in the news. I haven't seen it any time before this. And I went and actually clicked on the link, and sure enough, it was clickbait. There's no release date. There's no movie, okay? There's like somebody in the studio mentioned it and they were talking about it, but there isn't remotely a release date. But hey, clickbait headline. And you know what? The clickbait headline is going to work. People are going to click over, and I didn't reshare it. People are going to click over and say, ooh, The Devil Wears Prada 2, there must be a release date if there's an article that says there's a release date. So please, before you share anything on social media, I don't care if it's vaccination related, if it's political related, if it's something that triggers you emotionally and you think and you read it or you watch it like, oh, that's true. Oh, yeah, I got him. Ooh, I got the government. Ooh, I've got this. I've got these people. These people are busted. Must be true. Please take a time and go research. And often, sometimes you'll hear people say, okay, Mr. I want truth man. Where do I research? Because the mainstream media is the ones that are full of crap. No, mainstream media is not full of crap, okay? What's full of crap are talking head TV shows that are also designed to trigger you and piss you off, okay? So there's a side of every news network out there, okay, that has factual journalism-based news, and they also have talking head shows that are dramatic and they're controversial and they're designed to get you riled up. And the problem is sometimes those are on the exact same network. So you kind of have to differentiate. So journalism, fact-based news is far, far from dead. Even if it is mainstream media, doesn't mean it's bad. And you know what? If you think it's bad, then just double or triple check your story across multiple sources. Okay, that's the easy part. If you hate ABC, then when you see something on ABC, fact check it with the other ones, or fact check it with an independent kind of local news reporter. Also, local news reporters are really the best ones because they are the ones literally closest to the story. Okay. What are we going to talk about? Niching, niching, niching. I love that phrase. Niching, niching, niching. Oh, really quick, I did want to mention again that there is a conference coming up. I'm going to be attending October 21st through October 23rd. There is a conference at the end of October in Dallas, Texas. If you're anyone who's involved in the world of CRMs or lead generation or data management, and you're anywhere in the Midwest, you might want to consider attending it. It's called the Level Up Conference, okay? And it's for people that are agencies with the HighLevel product or people that are end users with the HighLevel product, okay? So that is coming up October 20, I believe the actual technical day, here's my calendar, the evening of the 21st, and then there's, full days on the 22nd, 23rd, and half a day on the 24th. I will be there the 20th. I'll be running a Monday morning mastermind on the morning of the 21st. About 3 blocks away. So if you want to come to that mastermind, reach out and let me know. You can either DM me, right now, or you can. There's a number floating across on the screen. Text me at that number floating that is in rotation on the screen, and I will get back to you about the deets on that. But that's going to be Monday morning, October 21st in Dallas, Texas. Not too far from the giant eyeball. When I went to Dallas, Texas last year in October, I found out about the giant eyeball. Didn't even know about it before then. Giant eyeball is cool. So we're not going to be too far from the giant eyeball in Texas. And so if you're going down there, reach out to me and I will get you in this mastermind I'm going to have Monday morning, the 21st. I think it's only going to be from 9 to 1 also, so I didn't even make it terribly long. If we get a ton of people, I might make it longer, but right now it's only from 9 to 1. I have a room paid for, and we're going to show up and learn a ton of stuff. Okay, niches, niches, niches. Niches be tripping. How to find yours? A question I see a lot from people that get into the world of digital marketing, and I say that the world of digital marketing because there's just so much to it. But people get fascinated with the work that either I do or my team does, or they see other people do online, okay? They get fascinated by the ads and the YouTube stuff, the YouTube traffic I'm getting, which I'm doing a very good job at right now. And all this stuff seems really exciting and they want to get into it. Or they see a cool product like, the HighLevel CRM, of which I'm a certified partner, and they buy into it and they're like, oh, I hear this is a great money making thing. I'm going to buy into this. How do I start making money? And I've seen this with different products over the years, and you may have seen it also. It's happened definitely true with the ClickFunnels, the kind of the generation before this product, is you would see people get involved that got fascinated with the product, bought into it, are actually paying money for it, getting really good at it, but they have nothing to sell. Okay, they have absolutely nothing. They have no idea, and I see this a lot in some of the communities I'm part of. And if you're in the world of digital marketing, you've seen this also. People buying into a product, and they hop into like a Facebook group or a private community or a private mastermind. They're like, "Okay, this is awesome. How do I sell it? How do I charge? What do I charge for it? What should my niche be? What are the most profitable niches?" And whenever I see those questions, I have to be careful. I have to sit on my hands, and I have to not say something sarcastic, and I have to rub my temples and think, how did you get into this without even knowing what you're selling or knowing what you're good at? And so you ask them the typical questions, and they're like, I don't know what I'm good at. I just want to know what makes a lot of money, and what will prevent me from having to work a lot. So that's their decision. That's their deciding criteria on when they are, looking to say, oh, whether or not to determine what niche they get in. Okay, what's easy? What's the fastest way to make money? What's the most profitable way to make money? Okay, let's talk about that for a little bit. Okay, niches are, and just so we're all on the same page here. To me, a niche is a specialty, a horizontal or a vertical area where you specialize. It could also be a strategic specialization or a tactical specialization. Okay, niching oftentimes is presented as just what industry are you going to serve and what are you going to sell and who are you going to sell it to. Okay, that is kind of a niche. But I've learned that niches can also be like a technical one. Like you could be a niche strategy and not touch technical stuff. That's your special purpose. That's your special skill set is you are really good and mapping out a great, 12 to 24 month strategy, and then you hand it off to a team to implement it. So developing strategy can be a niche. Or the back end, where we more lean into, is the tactical side can be a niche, okay? The implementation of the thing can be the niche also, okay? So here are some questions that you need to think of as you're deciding your niche, okay? Um, First of all, um, when deciding a niche, you have to realize that you are in the business of solving problems. Okay. This is what I do every single morning when I wake up. I am in the business of solving problems. The problem may be lack of strategy, lack of tactical direction, lack of focus is a big problem also. So if you want to really make a lot of money and really be popular in a particular industry or particular niche, you need to do a better job of solving problems. Okay. To me, a lot of these technical problems, a lot of marketing issues today, I see like matrix code. Okay. I've seen them so many times that when a new prospect comes down the pike and they want to talk to us, I'm like, okay, I've seen the lack of strategy. I've seen that you're distracted all over the place. It's been here, done this. Let's get you locked down. Let's get you focused, okay? But why do you want to, niche down a little bit and get a little bit better at things? A couple of reasons, okay? First of all, you're going to understand the problems better. Remember what I said before, that you just have to solve problems? That's easy. But if you niche down to any particular horizontal or vertical, you know those problems probably sometimes better than the people who are actually in those industries. Okay. For example, if you're someone who coaches realtors, or you coach salons, or you coach baseball coaches, okay, you may know their business problems, not the problems that they're trying to solve themselves, but you may know their business problems better than them. Okay. Oftentimes, it's like a lack of lead, It's a lack of attention. It's a lack of people even knowing that you exist in the industry. It's a lack of you niching down. Okay. Times, one of the first things oftentimes I'll help people with is they themselves have a lack of a niche. So we can give them some strategy to help them get them locked down. But if you can start to understand the problems of a particular area of business, then you're going to come up with templated solutions to help solve those problems, which again, in my world of the HighLevel CRM, is really beautiful because we can build templated solutions. And if you're somebody who runs a jujitsu gym, okay, I can build a template solution that I can go out there and resell that to all the jujitsu gyms across the country, because for the most part, they all have if not the exact same problem, very similar problems. Okay. So you can understand problems better and you can provide template solutions better. And something else you can do is kind of measure your success better. Okay. You've heard of things like KPIs, key performance indicators, or indexes, depending on your preference, indicators. Um, if you as a service provider can niche down better, you can do a better job of measuring how good your marketing is. Okay, and I'll give you an example. Oftentimes, people will either DM me or be a public discussion, and they'll ask, "I'm doing this thing in marketing. Okay, what is the average results, or what are the average results of these things, and how well do I compare to the entire marketing world on how effective my thing I'm doing is?" And it could be email list size, it could be open rate, it could be click rate on ads, it could be CPM, cost per mil, cost per thousand impressions of an ad, it could be any number of things. And people will hop into discussions with me and they'll say, "I'm doing this on my own. How do I know if it's good? What's the industry averages?" And I'm saying, what are the averages? What are the averages like for pay per click? Okay, let's use pay per click for an example. What's the average cost per pay per click? Or what should I expect to pay per lead? Or what should my average click through rate be? Or what should my average number of video views be? And they want to compare it to all the other marketing that's ever been done. I'm like, you can't really compare that. But if you niche down, you can. And the reason you can't compare your marketing results to like overall blanket averages are the fact that everybody is marketing and advertising in different ways. Okay. You can't compare your YouTube video campaign to my YouTube video campaign. We have different audiences and we have different targets and we have different budgets and we have different headlines. So if you're running ads for an RV park, the person who's running ads for a real estate office, they can't compare their ad click rates. They can't compare their email list size. They can't compare their email click rates or the email open rates. But if you niche down, you can. Okay. So if you're somebody who is going to run a marketing agency or a web design service or any kind of digital ad work, and you niche down, well, then you actually can start to compare business to business. If you're somebody who does real estate ads all over the country, then you know what the real estate click through rates are. You know what the real estate ad impressions are. You know what realtors are looking for, what their clients are looking for. So some of these metrics that I typically advise people you can't use for comparison, you actually can if you lock down, if you niche. Okay, so again, let's talk through some of the questions that people have always typically asked when you deal with niches. Okay. The first one to me is always, what are you good at? What are you good at? And often, sometimes the answer is, I don't know, or I'm not good at anything. Well, that's a different problem to fix. But let's assuming you're good at something. Okay. Give me an example here. I am good at technical workflows. Okay. Diagramming data and figuring out how logic flows from top to bottom, or specifically, like programming type solutions, database type solutions, anything that's kind of a workflow top to bottom automated solution, I'm pretty good at. Okay. So, and the other question there, this is the Venn diagram. What are you good at? What would you do for fun? And where can you make money, right? Have you ever seen that? There's like a Venn diagram I've posted before on social media. It's like, what are you good at? Crosses over with what can make money, with crossing over with like, what do you want to do? Okay. And that sweet spot in the middle is where you want to focus. Okay. And for me, for example, I've often thought that one of my perfect Venn diagrams would be something like, what do you like to do? Aviation, anything with airplanes, I like to do. What are you good at? Digital marketing, okay? And what can be profitable? Where can you make money? Well, marketing for aviation type companies. So for me, my Venn diagram would be if I got paid $5,000 a month to market for a jet company using digital marketing. It pays well. It's jets. Come on, there's no such thing as a bad jet, and there's a solution that requires a big. It's a problem that requires a big solution, if you will. Okay. So start there. That's a good place to start. But sometimes you don't even know the answers to that. So, you have to kind of get down a little bit more detailed. So some of these other questions are going to help you with that. A really good one, if you have no idea what you want to do and you don't think you're particularly good at anything, is find somebody or find an industry that has a big problem. Okay, it's not too hard to find an industry that has a big giant problem that you can solve. I know that seems kind of an odd thing out there, but I'll give you an example. A lot of people in the marketing world, like me, we work on generating leads because lead flow is a huge problem. That's one of the reasons I've kind of focused on lead generation, is because in the marketing world, it's a huge problem. But goodness gracious, pick something. If you want to advertise for auto shops, typically what the problems are where people come to auto shops. Okay, people are broken down on the side of the road. More often than not, people come to auto shops not because they need regular maintenance, it's because something broke. Okay, and so maybe if you're going to work in the auto shop world, you know that your marketing needs to be towards people that have immediately broken cars and they need them towed in and need them worked on right away. Okay, that's a big problem. And when people's cars breaks, they will do anything to get that thing back ASAP. Okay, two things I've noticed people will pay for immediacy on. Okay, a few things, but one of the many things would be car work. Okay, if someone's car is out of commission, they will find almost any way they can to pay for it. Okay, if someone can't get a donut, they may crave a donut. They may want to spend good money on a donut, but it's a luxury item. Okay, they can go without a donut, but people cannot go without the cars. Phones, goodness gracious, in front of the Apple Store at my local mall, there is an Apple phone repair kiosk, and those guys are never bored. Okay, when people's iPad cracks or iPhone cracks, they lose their minds. They lose their minds so much that it's very rare that somebody will like drop off their phone at these places and go do something for a day and then come back later. No, people drop off their phone and they're like, how quickly can you get this back up and running? Because I am dead without my phone. Raise your hand or put a one in the comments if you'd be dead without your phone also. So these places of immediacy, there's probably a very good profit margin because they're probably paying those people, $4, $5, $6 an hour per hourly wage, but they can easily repair, 2 or 3 phones per hour. So there's a high profit margin there. And you put it in front of the Apple Store, and that way, when you go into the Apple Store and they're like, "I have a broken screen, who can fix it?" They can point you right out in front of the Apple Store and say, "Those guys out there." Heck, that spot could probably afford 2 or 3 kiosks. It really could. But right now, at least my local Apple Store, there's only one kiosk there. But I bet you if you go to any of your inside malls, you're going to find a screen repair kiosk near there. So that's a niche where you could find a kind of focus down. I do have one client who does just mobile repair type stuff. Okay, and it's all text based, and which is good because people on mobile phones are texting a lot. Okay, so that is a big problem that will pay well. Maybe some of the things that you might consider are things that have a big profit margin. I mean, what can you sell that, and actually the kiosk idea I was just talking about, what can you sell that has a low amount for expenses and a high amount for income? Just doing the math off the top of my head, I would imagine that, one of those kiosks has two people in it. Let's say those two people make $10 an hour. Okay. So your expenses there now are whatever the lease overhead is inside the mall, probably a couple $1,000s. Um, and then, two people let's say two people for an hour, that's $20 of expenses. Okay. But, how much are you making for each phone repair? Phone repairs cost $20, $30, if not more. Let's say they cost $50. Okay. Would you pay $50 to get your phone repaired? Probably. Okay. So let's say these two people can each do three phone repairs an hour. Okay. So their expense is $20. Let's say a phone repair is $50. Each of these two people can do a three phone repairs an hour. So each of these people is making what, 150? So together 300. So off the top of my head, they're bringing in 300 an hour, and the expenses out are $20 an hour. I mean, is my math pretty good at that? So that's someone right here that has huge overhead, and the $50 may be low. I know if my phone screen was cracked, I'd probably pay 60, 70, $80 for that kind of thing. Okay, so find things that have a biggest profit margin, a huge profit margin. What is an easy sell? Okay, there are some times where lower priced items in this world are easier to sell. Okay, it is nothing to get someone to part with $5 at Starbucks. It's nothing. People don't think twice about that. People don't ever go into Starbucks and go, "Ooh, that's too expensive. I didn't expect to pay that." Okay, no, they know they know they're gonna pay for a premium product. So coffee is an easy sell. Okay, um, I'm not saying go into the coffee business. I'm just looking for things that are easier to sell, things that resolve pain, things that solve big problems. These are the things that are easier to sell. Low price turnkey items for your business are easier to sell than high end customized products. Okay. So you will hear a lot in our world about, ooh, got to do high ticket, got to do high ticket, got to do high ticket, right? But what if you're just a business that doesn't want the overhead and the stress of high ticket? Okay, you may be willing to sacrifice a $4 or $5,000 sale if you can just do that same amount in $300 sales, and you just do more of them, and then you don't have to deal with the people and the overhead of a big sales team. Okay, so choosing what to sell may not always be about what makes the most in an immediate transaction. It may be about what's an easy sell and what's easy to maintain. In my world of work, there's a lot of stuff that we can do that we can outsource, that we can white label. Okay, those are easy sells. If I got 10 web design, if someone dropped 10 web design projects on me in the next half hour, I know I could very easily scale up and handle those. It would not be a problem. Okay, there would be some overhead, but hey, that stuff is easy these days. I see that stuff like matrix code because it's very easy to sub out to outsource or white label. So look for things that maybe, if you're somebody who wants to deal less with people, maybe you'll look at more something that can be white label or subbed out. Okay, that's an option also. What is, and this kind of gets a little bit into what is kind of a hands-off / turnkey kind of business. Okay, what can I sell that I very easily can then flip around to another provider and have them fulfill the work? There's another option right there. Okay, what's a very easy sell, or what's a turnkey business? Okay, um, maybe your decision's based on the thing that allows you to talk to people the least. Okay, I don't mind talking to people. Okay, but maybe what you choose to do in business is determined by the fact that you are just don't want to talk to people. You don't want to close. You don't want to do sales. You find it stressful, and you just don't even want to deal with that mess. Okay, so that may determine the niche that you get into. And it probably won't be a high ticket niche. It'll probably be a low ticket niche. It'll probably be a thing where you can develop a website, say, hey, you get this product for this price, click here to order it. And you don't have to talk to anybody at all. That may be more favorable to you than maybe selling something that's like at a $5,000 point where you're going to have to get on the phone with someone. You're going to have to schmooze them. You're going to have to talk to them for 8 to 12 weeks. Okay, that just may be more appealing to you. So maybe that's more important than the money questions up front that we're talking about. And with that, maybe one of my other criteria I was looking at here when determining my niche is, what solution lowers your blood pressure? Okay, so forget talking to people, forget, the high ticket closing, Forget the easy sell. What solution or what can you provide out there in the market that lowers your blood pressure? Okay. My my dream day is being able to wake up, grab a 12.9-inch iPad that runs on cellular. Right now, I only have, I think, the 11 right here. Okay. But grab a 12.9-inch pad that runs on cellular. That means I have access to the internet any place I have cell service. And taking that iPad to a coffee shop and just sitting in the coffee shop for 4 hours before going to the office every morning. So, I get to a coffee shop, 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm there and I'm socializing with other people, but I'm running my entire business off my iPad without having to be in front of a laptop, without having to be in front of a computer. Okay, that's my ideal scenario. That would lower my blood pressure. So if I could make 50, 100,000, $200,000 a month with a low blood pressure kind of effort, that's going to be to me much more appealing than maybe a job where I have to talk to somebody so much. Okay, so these are just some of the things I want you to think about when you're out there choosing a niche. Okay, let's run through these real quick. Um, what and the reason, first of all, the reasons why, as a quick recap for those of you that missed the first part of it, why do you want to niche down on something? Because you will understand the problems and you will understand the solutions, and you will have a better solution if you focus on a particular niche. Okay, and again, in our world of HighLevel and CRMs, it's very cool. We can come up with these templated niches. I think that's the right word. Yeah, called snapshots. And so if you're a realtor, if you're a professional public speaker, if you're somebody who markets waste removal services, okay, it's very easy for me to come up with a template for you and dump it in your business over and over and over. So whether or not you're a salon in Texas or a salon in Maine or a salon in Seattle or a salon in Southern California or a salon in Denver, as soon as you buy into my system, I've got templates that I can just push out to you, and you're like 70, 80% of the way towards having a complete business platform. Okay. Um, and also another reason I said I like for you to niche down is the fact that you will actually know industry metrics, which you normally can't know, and you'll have good things to compare. So when you start your pay-per-click ad for a salon in Florida, you'll kind of know what the pay-per-click rates are when you go to start your pay-per-click ads for that salon up in the Seattle area. Okay. Um, Again, oftentimes, what would you do for fun? What would you do? What would you do and not get paid for? That to me is the aviation thing. Okay. If I could do marketing for an aviation company and have all my bills paid, and they never actually paid me cash. For example, if I marketed for an aviation company and they just strictly paid me by paying off my mortgage and paying my food bill every month, I would gladly do that in a heartbeat because it's work that I like. Okay, so finding work you like, you've heard that before. Um, Finding work you like. What are you good at? What has a big problem that will pay you well? We talked about that for a little bit. Who has a big profit margin? That to me is one that I really like these days because I can keep a close tab on all of my numbers, and so I like things that have a big profit margin, things that have that have an ROI of anywhere to 5 to 10 times of what your expenses are. Okay, and we gave the example of that cell kiosk. A cell kiosk might bring in $300 an hour and have $20 an hour of payroll expenses with taxes and everything. Okay. Look for things with big overheads. Ideally, to me, you take in the Venn diagram and you take in something that has a big overhead and something that lowers your blood pressure, and that's the perfect niche there. Okay, we talked about what's an easy sell. Things probably sub $100, sub $500. Those are easier sells than something that gets $4,000 or $5,000. Okay, and we also talked about what's kind of a hands-off / turnkey kind of business. Okay, so if you're having problems defining your business niche, go back about 10 minutes and watch this show again. And it's going to give you some ideas. And even after that, if you still have problems finding a niche, feel free to text me at 405-217-4752. And maybe we have some ideas of where the direction you can start going to have a niche. Okay. You can also just message me on Facebook, message me on YouTube, and you'll gladly get on our calendar. And maybe we can help you find a niche there that you can start making money in. Okay. Because that's a very important part of the business. The niche just can't be something you're happy with. It also has to be something that makes you money. And if you're not making money at it and you're not happy at it, then where are the industry metrics from? Hey, Brian, good to see you. Usually the industry metrics are going to be from experience. For example, Right now, I have some YouTube ads running, and I can tell you on average what the CPM is for YouTube ads. And I know this from experience myself also, but I can tell you what the average CPMs are for an industry like mine. And I will use that when I get somebody else in that niche, and I want to compare the metrics to that. Um, Finding entire industry wide metrics, in my opinion, is really hard because there's no central body to approve that stuff. So it's almost like what I'm saying is you have to gather them yourself as a business. Okay, you gather them yourself as a business, and then you use those when you're talking to other businesses. So, for example, I will take on real estate. I'll take on multiple real estate clients as long as they're not in the same city, because if you do, then you can't ethically promote both of those. Okay, but if I'm doing real estate across the country, then I'm getting all kinds of data. And then when I get like a new client, let's say I have clients in 40 states, okay? When I get a new client in a new state, I can be, oh, we've got metrics from, thousands of ad campaigns from 40 states, so we know what your numbers should and should not be. We know you're good. We know your red numbers, your green numbers, and your yellow numbers, okay? So, Brian, what I'm saying there is it kind of just comes from experience versus like a central data repository. Because even though even though you see a lot of industries have these central data repositories, like an association, like the National Association of Realtors, and of course each state has a real estate organization. Oftentimes they may have metrics about the industry or metrics about some of the business side, but not the detailed technical metrics. Okay, you won't find any national or local real estate organization, for example, that'll tell you what the ad rates are, what the Facebook ad rates, or what the Google ad rates are, or what the average CPM is, or the average CTR is based on local targeting. Okay, that information just doesn't exist, and so you kind of have to gather the information yourself and then use that for further sales, which again makes it for an easier sell and niche. And this is something we didn't talk about. Is once you niche down for something, it actually makes it easier to sell. If you just go around all day saying, I implement a CRM for real estate, for real estate, for real estate, for real estate, you do that in 10 states. When you get to your 11th, 12th, 13th state, it's very easy to walk in and say, oh, we do this for realtors because we've done it for other realtors in every other state. If you want some more information, reach out. We'll talk to you, kind of thing. So niching down again makes it easier for you to sell it, versus trying to sell to a new niche every time. So hopefully that helped you out there, Brian. Thank you for the question. That is all I have today on niching down. This is something that was on my episode list. Now I can start planning the next couple of episodes for you guys. But this is one that's on my episode list because I see plenty of questions about this. I see it all the time. Like I said, all the time, daily, where people will buy into some cool technical solution and they have no clue as to how to sell it. In this particular case, yeah, I'm talking about the HighLevel CRM, but it could be people buying into certain hardware, people buying into certain mindsets, people after reading a book and somebody says, this is great, where can I implement this in my life? Okay, learning about it is the very first part of it, and then implementing it and practicing it is a totally different beast. Okay, Brian, good to hear, man. Good to hear. Anyways, I hope you have a good day. It's been the Monday morning show here at Stop Doing Nothing Media. I have been your host, Patrick Allman. If you haven't done so, of course, please subscribe on YouTube. And not only subscribe on YouTube, but leave like a little plus sign and the subscribe button, hit the notification thing. Also, all those three things you have to do to get notified. If you are coming to the HighLevel event, October 21st in Dallas, down in Dallas, Texas, please DM me on Facebook. I've got a kind of a secret private chat going of attendees. We're just kind of hanging out and socializing. But until Wednesday at 9 o'clock, you have a great day. You have a blessed day. Make sure you vote. Okay, obviously make sure you vote. We cannot emphasize that enough over the next, I think we're 4 or 5 weeks out. But yeah, let's vote. Let's have a good day. I'll talk to you guys on Wednesday.